Okay guys, so now we have a question like this one, and the first step that I would do is I would distribute the 3, okay, and then distribute the -6, okay, so we're left with 18 plus 30j, because 3 times 10 is 30, so 30j plus 60 is less than negative. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So -6 times -4 is actually positive 24. Okay, so we don't actually need that symbol. So it's just 24j plus, so -6 times -18, that is 108. Okay, and then we would subtract 24j on both sides. Okay, so we're left with 6j. Okay, and so these cancel out, and then we could, before moving on, I can combine these two. So an 18 plus 60, so 18 plus 60 is, so 78, okay, is less than, those already canceled, so we got 108. Now I can subtract 78 on both sides. Okay, we're left with 6j is less than 108 minus 78, which is 30. Then we divide by 6, okay? And again, we're dividing by 6. That's positive, so we don't need to flip the sign. So j is less than 5. Okay, and I think I will just skip this one. Oh, the answer to this one is v is less than -20, so I just want to get to a little bit of a harder one. Okay, so this one, solve for r. So we have r minus 1 is greater than -1. So we got r minus 1 is greater than -1. Okay, so all we have to do is add 1 on both sides, and we're left with r is greater than 0. On the other side, we have -10 r minus 11 is greater than or equal to -4. So we're going to add 11. We got -10r is greater than or equal to, we have 11 minus 4. So -11 plus 4 is the same thing as 11 minus 4, which is actually going to be 7. Okay, and then we're going to divide by -10. Now, the rule for inequalities, if you divide by a negative, you are going to switch this sign around. So now it's going to be, instead of r is greater than, it's going to be r is less than 7 over -10. Okay? So these are our two solutions. Okay? And so r is greater than 0, and r is less than . Okay, just make sure I'm checking all of them. So that's the right one. Okay. And now we're going to move on to C.5. C.5, I believe. C.5. And we are going to be graphing the solution. So we got 2b plus 2 is greater than negative 4. We can first divide by 2. This is, I'm just showing you guys a different way of doing it. You could distribute first. You could distribute, but I'm going to divide by 2 first, okay? Now we're left with b plus 2 is greater than negative 2. Then we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. Left with b is greater than negative 4. Okay, so then we're going to have negative 4 on the graph. We're going to plot that point. And it's open circle, and b is greater than, so it's going to go to the right. Okay, and same kind of thing over here. Same kind of thing. And finally, let's do C.6. So C.6 is we are going to be solving for these absolute value inequalities. So when we have an absolute value, we are going, I'm going to write it out, u minus 7 is less than or equal to 3. So we're going to follow our steps, and we're going to add 7 on both sides, and we're going to have the absolute value of u is less than or equal to 10. Okay? Now, the way this works is we're going to write 2 separate equations. So we're going to have u is less than or equal to 10, and then we're going to have u is, so we're going to switch the 10 to a negative 10. So we're going to also flip the sign around. So we're going to have u is less than or equal to 10, and u is greater than or equal to negative 10. Oop. Darn. So I typed that in incorrectly, but this would be an and, or it would be written as is the correct answer right here. Okay? So let's try this again. Okay? So we have, so this one is t minus 1 is less than 4. Now it's already, the absolute value is by itself on the left-hand side, so there's nothing we should add or subtract. So I'm going to write out the 2 separate equations. So we got t minus 1 is less than 4, and t minus 1 is greater than negative 4. Okay? So we're going to add 1 on both sides. We got t is less than 5. We're going to add 1 on both sides. And t is greater than negative 3. So if t is greater than negative 3 and it's less than 5, then that means that it's in between the 2 numbers. So we could say that negative 3 is less than t is less than 5. Okay, for this example, we got 6z minus 4 is less than 6, okay? So we're going to divide by 6 on both sides first. And we don't have to flip the sign because we're not dividing by negative, so we're left with z minus 4 is less than 1, okay? So now our 2 separate equations are going to be z minus 4 is less than 1, and z minus 4 is greater than negative 1. we're going to add 4 on both sides. Z is less than 5. Add 4 on both sides. Z is greater than 3. Okay? So Z is less than 5 and Z is greater than 3. Okay? This example, we have negative 3, D is greater than negative 9. So, first step is we are going to divide by negative 3. When we divide by a negative number, we are going to be flipping the sign. So it's flipping this way, and we are left with 3. D is less than 3. So we know that D is less than 3, and D is greater than negative 3. So D is greater than negative 3, and it's less than 3. So negative 3. So a good way to do this is just to put the first number, like the smallest number first, so negative 3, and then you would you'd write the inequality symbol, so less than. D is less than 3. Okay? And this one is the same kind of deal, except now we're plotting it on a number line once we have our 2 solutions. So I'll do one example like that. So 5 is less than s minus 1, and negative 5 is greater than s minus 1. Okay, using this equation right here. Okay, so we're going to add 1 on both sides. And we are left with 6 is less than s. And then we are left with negative 4 is greater than s. So negative 4 is greater than x. So we start at negative 4. And so that means that s, so I like to rewrite that with the letters in the front so it's easier to read. S is less than negative 4. S is greater than 6, okay? So s is less than negative 4. Oops. So let's see. I'm going to click on negative 4, and it's going to be an open circle, and s is less than that. And then we also know that s is greater than 6. So we're going to click on 6, and we're going to go to the right. And this is an OR. Okay?